Hello, Gold Derby fans. We are just days away from the SAG Awards nominations. They'll be held on Wednesday morning. And so we're going to talk about our last minute predictions, and we're going to go over the Gold Derby odds. And then we're going to say where we think the odds are wrong and what dark horses could get nominated and what we think may win. My name is Marcus James Dixon, and we're here with Daniel Montgomery and Denton Davidson. Denton, you are the newest Gold Derby senior editor. So I'll come to you first. Let's start with film ensemble for the SAG Awards. The Gold Derby predictions, we think these 5 casts will be nominated: Belfast, The Power of the Dog, West Side Story, King Richard, and Don't Look Up. Do you agree with those 5, or where do you think there is some, opportunities for an upset?
I have 4 out of the 5 currently, so I guess I agree mostly. I pulled King Richard out and I replaced it with The Harder They Fall, just because it's a Netflix movie and the cast is so huge and people love so many actors in that cast. So that's kind of my wild card pick. And that's what I have in the 5th slot. I Don't Look Up in the 4th slot. Mm-hmm. Although, I was saying off camera earlier, there's about 5 films below my picks that I feel like could all replace any one of mine at any time as well. So I think this is a tough category this year.
And Daniel?
Yeah, I've got West Side Story, Belfast, Don't Look Up, Power of the Dog. My other one is Coda. I think that one is starting to peak at the right time. It's a family story, so you get a lot of ensemble scenes with those cast members together in a very Little Miss Sunshine kind of way. So I feel like that will make the cut.
I hope so.
This is like, we've had this happen a couple of years where it's like you can make the case for an entirely different 5 getting in. And that's the case for me here. Like, I'm only confident about West Side Story because that's a large cast. It's a huge Best Picture contender. But when it comes to Power of the Dog, it's a relatively small cast, and 3 out of the 4 are going to get probably nominated individually anyway, of the main actors. Belfast is a relatively small cast. But again, that's another family story, so that seems like a strong contender.
It's definitely in. Belfast is definitely in.
Don't Look Up is divisive, but it's Netflix, and that just the names on that cast alone, like, is probably pretty safe. Or not. Like, it depends on how divisive it is. Again, the nomination committee, you never know if it's just going to be like people who just don't like that, or people who liked other Netflix movies better, because Netflix has a lot of options. As Denton said, The Harder They Fall. I think Tick, Tick, Boom has been kind of rising. I could see that being a surprise nominee. I could see Mass being a surprise nominee, although like a few months ago it wouldn't have been a surprise because it seemed like an obvious choice, but it's been sort of on the downturn. But they sent that screener out to the SAG Nomcom really early, and we have seen that make a difference in surprising ways before. So French Dispatch we haven't even mentioned, like, that's an enormous cast. But yeah, so there are at least like 12, 15 movies that are plausible in here.
Yeah, it's a tough year for ensembles in terms of predicting them. My 5th slot is, I'm copying Tarek Khan, who my cat wants to join the discussion. Tarek Khan wrote an article for Gold Derby about how Licorice Pizza is going to get that 5th slot. And I'm totally stealing his prediction. And I emailed him and said that I was stealing his prediction because it just makes so much sense. Like, yeah, the main 2 characters are not that well known yet. But the supporting cast is full of A-listers. And he lays out 5 different reasons. Go read it on Gold Derby. He totally convinced me that Licorice Pizza is getting in. And by the way, I wanted to mention the Critics' Choice nominations because they have an ensemble category, and a lot of times it lines up with SAG. So they have Belfast, Don't Look Up, The Harder They Fall, Denton, Licorice Pizza, the Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. So they have 6. They kind of hedge their bets at Critics' Choice, but I mean, it's probably going to be 4 of those 6, I'm guessing.
Yeah, What about Nightmare Alley? We're like, people are just really ignoring that. I love that movie, but it's not getting in as many places as I would have thought. But I mean, you've got Kate Blanchett and Bradley Cooper, Willem Dafoe. I mean, it's a strong cast.
Yeah, it is a strong cast. And again, it's probably, it's, this is such a tough
I
year.
mean, it goes on and on.
In another year, it would probably be a front runner. And now it looks like it's in 9th place overall at Gold Derby. So it does have, you know, a shot. I wouldn't discount it.
Yeah, it's got a lot of big actors in it, but I wonder if it's partly like a little bit hurt by the fact that, you know, it's got Kate Blanchett, but she's probably got a better shot for Don't Look Up. That's probably the more higher profile cast there. And Bradley Cooper is also in Licorice Pizza. They might go with Licorice Pizza instead. So they've got a lot of other options for nominating ensembles with these same actors in them.
So in this slugfest, we're going to talk about film and TV. So we're going to go a little fast on some of these categories. Let's move over to film actress. The Gold Derby predictions are Kristen Stewart, Jessica Chastain, Lady Gaga, Nicole Kidman, and Olivia Colman. Daniel, do you think those 5 are getting in, or do you think there could be an upset chance for someone else?
I do think there could be an upset chance, but I'm boring and like these 5 are my 5, though not in the same exact order as they are in our odds. Like I think, yeah, Olivia Colman's 5th in our odds. I think she's 2nd, or at least I have her there. I agree. Jessica Chastain is probably a lock. Being the Ricardos and House of Gucci are divisive enough that I'm not entirely sure Nicole Kidman and Lady Gaga get in, but they've been getting in places. And SAG loves Nicole Kidman. She's been nominated a billion times, although she's only ever won once for Big Little Lies. Lady Gaga could be on the bubble, but I'm trying to figure out who I'd put in instead, and I can't figure it out. Like they could go Rachel Ziegler for West Side Story. They could go Alana Haim for Licorice Pizza. But are they going to go for so much, you know, newcomers when, you know, SAG often likes veterans? So it's hard for me to, you know, those are my 5 mostly because I can't figure out who I'd replace someone with.
Denton, don't you have Penelope Cruz getting in here, or?
I don't at SAG.
Okay.
She's in my Oscar picks, but I do have Jennifer Hudson getting in here.
Oh,
I think that SAG usually does a better job with, you know, diversity in general, and I would be surprised if it was just 5 white actresses in this category. So and I think that Jennifer Hudson does such a transformational job in Respect. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to sing Aretha Franklin's songbook, so I think there's going to be a lot of respect for her performance. So I have her. I think she has a shot at getting in. I think it might be a long shot, but I'm not convinced about Lady Gaga still. And I don't know. I think Jennifer Hudson was one of my favorite performances. So I'm sticking my neck out for her a little bit on this one.
I'm boring, and I have the 5 that Gold Derby has. If I were to switch something, I would put Frances McDormand in for Macbeth. She is just beloved in the industry, and I just don't know who I would take out at this point. I still have a couple days to think about it. Okay,
I'm hoping that just Tessa Thompson pulls a huge surprise here, because I'm just dying for that movie in general and for her performance specifically to get a little bit more traction.
By the way, do we think the winner is Kristen Stewart?
Yeah, that's who I've got right now.
I have Olivia Colman.
Oh, okay.
Who has yet to win an individual SAG award, actually.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Best film actor. Gold Derby's predicted nominees are Will Smith, Benedict Cumberbatch, Andrew Garfield, Denzel Washington, and Peter Dinklage. Peter's won a few of these over on the TV side, right? Or maybe just that one.
Yeah, I think just the one.
Just the one. I think for the final season, maybe. But for film actor, I'm looking at my picks. I have the same 5, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm boring today. What about Leonardo DiCaprio? He's in 6th place. He really could pull off a nomination here.
I have the same 5 two actually. So I'm pretty boring in this category. I'm not certain about Denzel Washington, other than, I mean, is there an actor who's more loved than Denzel Washington? So that's kind of why he's there for me. But you have Leonardo DiCaprio, again, Bradley Cooper in Nightmare Alley, Nicolas Cage in Pig. There's a lot of interesting other options that people could take if they want.
Joaquin Phoenix, Javier Bardem really surprised me in a good way in being the Ricardos. Adam Driver, House of Gucci. Daniel, what about you? Do you have the same five?
Yeah, I have the five. If I switch out anyone, and I did this at the Oscars, I might put in Nicolas Cage for Pig over Dinklage, just because that performance is getting a lot of buzz. It came out early and it's on Hulu, so it's been very accessible. So like I feel like that could sneak in. Like this could be like that Nicolas Cage once every other decade kind of thing where he's like gives like this great performance and he gets nominated for everything for it. And then he goes back to like making five National Treasure movies. And we'll welcome him back in like 2029 when he gets his next Oscar nomination.
So supporting actress, Gold Derby thinks the nominees will be Kirsten Dunst, Anjanou Ellis, Katrina Balfe, and then Ariana from West Side Story and Marley from Coda. I do have four of those five, but I have Ann Dowd getting in. And I feel like Ann Dowd was in the predictions to get in for a long time, and she just kind of got bumped out. So I think she's still in this race. Don't count out Ann Dowd just quite yet. I think she could even win, actually. What about you, Denton? What do you make of this category?
I have the same as you. I have Ann Dowd in there instead of Marlee Matlin. I think Marley could definitely get in. She's in one of the most well-liked movies of the year, but just her performance isn't as big maybe as some of the others in the category. And I mean, for personally, if I was voting, Martha Plimpton would be up there too, but she seems to have just crashed for some reason. But I'm going to keep Ann Dowd in there for now.
Daniel?
Yeah, I also have Ann Dowd in over Marlee Matlin, but I do think that like last spot is like really up for grabs. Like I really feel like this is going to be the opportunity for someone who is kind of on the bubble in this race to kind of get their foot back in. So it could be Ann Dowd, it could be Ruth Negga, it could be, Judi Dench. The SAG Awards love Judi Dench, and they love veteran actors, so we could see her get in on kind of a Belfast just kind of sweep of nominations. Rita Moreno is the one who I had her in, and then I put Ann Dowd back in because a lot of times this category favors earlier performances that the nominating committee had an early chance to see. So I that's why I'm thinking Dowd gets in. But Moreno, she just won SAG Life Achievement a few years ago. So actually, I think almost a decade ago. So it would be such a great moment for her. So I think she's another potential alternate.
I forgot to ask who we think is winning film actor, and then also say who you think is winning this supporting actress. Daniel, do you want to go first?
Sure. I've got Will Smith at the moment, but I think SAG is where we could see like a potential shift. Like it's hard to know exactly how strong a front runner Will Smith is because we haven't seen a lot of these industry awards give out winners. Benedict Cumberbatch is very much the critics' choice. Andrew Garfield feels like he's been coming on strong with Tick, Tick, Boom getting a lot of Best Picture consideration now. So it could be one of those, but I got Will Smith. And for supporting actress, honestly, that's up in the air, but at the moment I've got Kirsten Dunst. Honestly, I think any of those top four could win.
And Denton?
For film actor, I'm going with Andrew Garfield. It was my favorite performance of the year, and I'm going for him until I'm proven wrong. So I'm gonna go for him until he loses me some credibility. So for now, he's still on top. And for supporting actress, I have Kirsten Dunst right now, although I'm not confident in that at all. I think that could go 5 different ways or 6.
I feel like Kirsten Dunst is nominated for everything and she never wins anything. So I would love to see her finally, accept a trophy. But
Yeah.
I do have Ariana winning kind of in a I wouldn't call it an upset because she certainly deserves it. But her performance completely blew me away in West Side Story. She was the best thing about that movie. And she's hosting SNL next week, which would be the first SNL after voting opens, I believe, or after the nominations are announced. So that helps. And then for film actor, I have Will Smith. I think it's finally time that this guy is taken seriously in Hollywood, and kind of like the Matthew McConaughey renaissance of when a decade ago. I think it's Will Smith's time. So rounding out the movie categories, we have supporting actor. Gold Derby thinks the nominees will be Cody Smit-McPhee, Ciarán Hinds, Jamie Dornan, Troy Kotsur, and J.K. Simmons. Actually, hold on. Sorry, those were
I think
my
Jared Leto is the
yeah,
fifth.
those I was reading my
And Gans.
nominees. The Gold Derby nominees are the same, except Jared Leto was in 5th place. Daniel, what do you think about those 5?
I've got the top 4, and I feel stupid for not predicting Jared Leto because he just got in last year for The Little Things.
Oh yeah.
But I'm this is one of the limbs I'm going out on and seeing if it pays off. I'm going Mike Faced for West Side Story.
Ooh, okay. And Denton?
I have the same top 4 as well. I have J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
Just because he has such a TV crowd behind him. So I just think he's well liked among everyone. I would love if Mike Faced got in there. But I left Jared Leto out as well. Bradley Cooper's really high on the list. I would be surprised if he got in for Licorice Pizza. I feel like that's sort of a cameo almost.
Yeah, I feel like his position in odds is sort of like residual. Like he started high, and then as people started seeing the movie, and his role was a little smaller than people thought.
Yeah.
Right now.
But isn't that a good thing? Like, don't you want to leave a movie thinking, I wanted more of this person? And I've heard that about him more than anyone else this year. Like, I wanted more Bradley Cooper.
Sometimes, but sometimes that means like I wanted more of this character, and I don't not enough to kind of really stick with me, which is true for a lot of things. Like I felt like Marlee Matlin, if she had like 1 or 2 more really juicy scenes in Coda, she'd be a lock. So sometimes you just need like a little bit more to kind of solidify yourself in voting.
Jesse Plemons too, Power of the Dog. I left that movie thinking I could have used more Jesse.
Yeah.
And then there's Jason Isaacs and Mass, Richard Jenkins and The Humans.
I feel like this category could go any way as well. Like I don't like Cody Smit-McPhee has just been dominating, but I feel like that's sort of the internet buzz. I don't know if his performance is as dominating as has been in our odds so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's hard to know if that's going to be a critics thing, and then as soon as like the industry groups chime in, the race completely shifts to someone else.
Right. Who do you guys have winning? I have Cody winning. That's kind of like a placeholder. I just don't know who could topple him at this point.
Yeah, I have Cody too. And the 2 who I think are positioned to upset are Ciarán Hinds, who I also think his role is a little small, and the fact that Jamie Dornan has been doing well and may get in with him and has a larger role in the film, they might kind of siphon from each other. So Troy Kotsur might be the real kind of potential surprise.
What do you guys think about Ben Affleck in The Tender Bar? He's got the star power. People are starting to move him up.
Yeah, he's rising.
Does he have any chance? I haven't seen that. I haven't been able to see that film yet.
It's such a stacked category. I mean,
yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me.
It's a small film that hasn't gotten all that much buzz outside of him. Like I'm not convinced that it's going to be a thing, but again, SAG has really picked out these like tiny movies occasionally, and it'll get like a surprise nomination. Like your Sarah Silverman and I Smile Back and Jennifer Aniston and Cake, and so that could be better.
Jared Leto last year was,
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't expect that to happen.
Let's move on to TV if you guys are ready. TV drama ensemble, and last year it was The Crown that won, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's obviously not eligible, so we have potentially a brand new show winning this, and the nominees according to Gold Derby will be Succession, The Morning Show, The Handmaid's Tale, Squid Game, and Pose. And then in sixth place, we have This Is Us, and seventh place, Yellowstone. I agree with these five, but I don't agree with the winner. Right now, Gold Derby has Succession winning, and yeah, it's probably going to win, but it's kind of fun to think about Squid Game winning for all of the reasons we've mentioned in previous Slugfests. It's just the out of the box show, and sometimes SAG goes that way. It's certainly very diverse, and whereas Succession is not. And so right now I have Squid Game winning. I think, Daniel, you were the first among us to have Squid Game winning. I don't know if you still do.
I still do. I'm going to stick with that for a while at least, just because, like it is sort of my my no guts, no glory pick early on. So I'm going to stick with that for a while. I may end up switching to Succession. The thing about Squid Game is that it had such huge buzz. And it's not that its buzz dropped off, but after the Squid Game buzz was like, crested, then the Succession buzz with its finale as its season ended. So it actually has more recent buzz than Squid Game. So I think it's going to be one of those two. And I have 4 of the 5 nominees. I'm not sure yet how the Guild will still feel about the morning show. So like when it was the hot new show, it got like I think 3 nominations for acting. I don't think its cast got any then.
Yeah, it got snubbed for cast, which was weird.
Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure it gets in here. So I have This Is Us, which is 6th place in our odds. I have that in its place. But again, I could see Morning Show getting in over Pose, or both of them getting in over Handmaid's Tale. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, Denton, Succession has never gotten a SAG nomination, so why now?
I mean, I think it's just the hottest show on TV. It's never been, I mean, for as long as people have liked it and for as successful as the first 2 seasons are, the show's never been really hotter than it is right now. I mean, I think it's kind of standing on its own more than it has in the past. So I have Succession winning. I have Squid Game in second. I'm not completely convinced about the morning show either. I have that in 5th, and This Is Us in 4th. And I've considered exchanging the morning show for Pose. Your SAG voters kind of are old hat in a lot of ways. So if there's a lot of shows that are no longer eligible, I could see them just going back to This Is Us naturally. But I don't know. It's close at the end. Yellowstone could get in there.
Yeah, Yellowstone has a lot of buzz. And the thing about This Is Us is it's probably going to have an easier time winning than getting nominated, because if it gets nominated, the final season is going to be airing during voting, but it hasn't aired since May. So there's this huge gap of time where This Is Us did not air. So I wonder if that will hurt it in terms of getting nominated. But Yellowstone, I'm thinking of putting Yellowstone in there. It's rising in our odds and certainly in buzz within the industry. I
feel like there's something here we're underestimating though, because I'm looking at our odds and like after like Yellowstone, the drop off in the odds is so steep. But I'm looking at everything under there and I'm like thinking, well, what could I'm trying to figure out what the case is for one of these to surprise. Maybe Yellow Jackets.
Yellow Jackets, yeah.
Maybe The Good Fight.
Loki.
Maybe Loki, but I don't know if they're gonna go for that. Yeah, it's hard to say, because I feel like there has to be
Lupin?
Maybe
Lupin got some surprise Golden Globe nominations, not that anyone noticed. this year,
I
unfortunately.
mean, yeah, and
Evil.
never underestimate anything on Netflix.
What
honestly.
about Evil? No.
That did get Critics' Choice.
Let's move on to drama actor. This is interesting because you have the two Succession guys battling for number 1 and number 2. And again, they've been snubbed the first 2 seasons. And then Billy Crudup, Billy Porter, and Sterling K. Brown round out the top 5. I personally have Kieran Culkin getting in. Remember, this is supportings and leads battling together. So there's always the chance of wild cards getting in. And I think Kieran Culkin could be that wild card. And then there's Lee Jung-jae from Squid Game, Matthew McFadden from Succession, Tom Hiddleston from Loki, and Steve Carell, Morning Show. That rounds out our top 10. So Denton, what do you make of this category? It's kind of all over the place.
I have all 3 of those Succession actors that you have in there as well. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I know that Kieran is 3rd, and for me, he's number 1. So I just want him to get nominated so badly. And then I have Sterling K. Brown and Billy Porter as my final 2 picks. And I don't think Sterling's ever been ignored for This Is Us, has he? Has he?
I don't think so. I think
I don't think he's
there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep him in there. Billy Porter, I'm a little less confident about because that has been something that they've ignored, and it's been a while now since that finale. So maybe they have moved on to other things. But Billy Crudup, I mean, he won the Emmy, but I don't know if that show is as popular with SAG. So I'm a little less confident about him getting in there. I would love to see Lee Jung-jae get in.
And did you mention who you think is winning?
I currently have Brian Cox winning just because he's the veteran.
That's who I have too. I know Jeremy Strong was phenomenal this season, but Brian Cox had the shouting, he had the yelling, he had the over-the-top character traits that voters love, whereas Jeremy's character was more subtle and subdued and internal. So I think that kind of gives Brian the edge here, plus the veteran thing. Like the SAG Awards, they just love these veteran actors. Daniel, you're smiling.
No, I have Brian Cox too, and I'm also thinking that one thing Jeremy Strong has that Brian Cox doesn't have, but it's not a good thing, is that New Yorker profile, which got a lot of people talking. Although I could also see that being a moment where industry actors kind of rally around him. So it could go either way with that. I do have the 3 Succession guys getting in there. For me, it comes down to, last year it happened with The Crown. What are they watching? If they're watching Succession, they're just voting. They're check. So it's really kind of figure out for me who gets the last spots. And if one of them actually ends up being Matthew McFadden, because they might check another one.
Yeah.
But I've got Billy Porter, which I'm not confident in because Pose has never been nominated at SAG before. And Billy Crudup, who was nominated with Steve Carell last time. And if one of them gets back in, I think it's Billy Crudup. But again, same thing as with Morning Show in the ensemble cast category. I'm not entirely confident how SAG is going to feel about the second season, how enthusiastic they're going to be about it. And if I take one of them out, I'm putting Sterling immediately back in there because, as you guys have talked about, it's rarely smart to bet against Sterling K. Brown at the SAG Awards.
TV drama actress. Last year, this is Gillian Anderson's victory, right? And that was a supporting role, it's kind of unusual when a supporting person wins in this category, but again, they combine them with leads. Gold Derby thinks the nominees will be Jennifer Aniston. She won 2 years ago. Sarah Snook, Elizabeth Moss, MJ Rodriguez, and Reese Witherspoon. Where do you agree and where do you disagree? Daniel, let's come to you first.
This is a tough one. I've got 4 out of the 5. I don't have Reese getting in with Jennifer because she didn't last time when the show was even bigger. So I'm I recently looked at this category and went with my same reasoning as for actor. It's like, what are they watching? Are they watching Succession? Okay, J. Smith Cameron, who's also a character actress. SAG often loves character actors. But this category is tough in general, just because to have 3 slots down because The Crown had 3 nominations and it didn't air this past year, we're going to get people in there who, at least 3 different actors in, assuming Jennifer Aniston comes back in, then we get Sarah Snook in for Succession. Elizabeth Moss probably gets in sort of on inertia, even just for Handmaid's Tale. MJ Rodriguez is probably Pose's best shot just because of the configuration of this race and how historic it would be. But yeah, looking at the rest of the lineup, In Treatment didn't get a lot of buzz, but Uzo Aduba is one of those actors who SAG loves. Juliana Margulies in The Morning Show, even if they don't love The Morning Show, they love Juliana Margulies, so that could happen. Jung Ho-yeon from Squid Game could happen. Again, Yellow Jackets, Melanie Linsky could happen. Ann Dowd in Handmaid's Tale, if they really like Ann Dowd this year, if buzz from Mass is going to increase the enthusiasm for both performances. So this could go in a number of ways.
I'm kind of going on a limb. I'm predicting MJ, Michaela J, to win this. And I just looked yesterday. I'm the only editor doing it, so I'm kind of on my own. But I mean, there's a chance she won't even get nominated, which would just gut me. But if she does, I think she has a really good chance of winning. Frankly, she gave the best performance out of all these people. So I really think, it's within her grasp to win this. Denton, who do you have winning, and what about your other nominees?
My top 4 are the statistical top 4 of Gold Derby. So I have Jennifer Aniston on top right now. I don't feel confident about that at all. So I think this race could go a lot of different directions. I think you're completely right that MJ could win. And my 5th slot, I went with Uzo Aduba just because she's one of those actors that slides in when you don't think she's going to. So, and that 5th slot to me is really wide open. And same reason as Daniel, I didn't go with Reese just because she didn't get in last time when the show was more popular. And that's the same kind of reason I don't really feel confident Jennifer Aniston will win again. I mean, could Sarah Snook?
Yes, Sarah Snook could easily win this.
So, I mean, that's kind of what I've been leaning towards changing my mind to is Sarah Snook.
Right. I mean, Succession could win ensemble and actor and actress. Who knows? Or it could be snubbed everywhere, just like the past 2 years. Sorry, my cat is driving me crazy today. TV comedy ensemble. The Gold Derby picks are Ted Lasso, Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, The Great, and What We Do in the Shadows. Last year, it was Schitt's Creek that won this, and that is not eligible anymore. So Ted Lasso is probably going to do it. And for a while, I had Only Murders winning this, but it just didn't feel right to me. That feels more like less of an ensemble and more just like a 3-person show, whereas Ted Lasso is a huge ensemble. Daniel, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not going to overthink this one. I'm going with Ted Lasso here. I originally wasn't even sure Only Murders in the Building was going to get in just because it's a new show. And a lot of times, as we talked about with Succession not being nominated for its first 2 seasons, SAG is really behind on shows until like other awards groups get on top of them. But I did put Only Murders back into my top 5. So I have the exact same 5. But yeah, it's hard for me to see Ted Lasso losing this.
Denton?
Yeah, I agree. I think Ted Lasso is going to win. And that's my number 1. I have the top 3 that match. Those last 2 spots, though, I'm not as confident about. I mean, I just don't know about The Great. And What We Do in the Shadows was not recognized by the SAG Awards before. So right now, I have Insecure getting in for once because that show's gotten so much recognition. It's the final season, so maybe finally they'll recognize it at the SAG Awards. And then that last spot, I just put in Reservation Dogs. I don't know if I'm going to hold on to that, but in terms of ensemble, that doesn't really have a standout. You know, that's a show that's talked about a lot for the ensemble. So
Also, I have Insecure, and also don't count out Netflix here. They have Kaminsky Method and they have Cobra Kai. I mean, both of those could get in just for the Netflix factor.
yeah.
If one of those gets in, I had Cobra Kai in there for a while, and I might eventually put it back in. Like that's the one that I think if there's a Netflix surprise, it's going to be for Cobra Kai. I see that as a better shot than Kaminsky Method. Even though I think was Kaminsky nominated for its cast once or twice before. I can't remember, but I feel like the buzz on Cobra Kai and the fact that it's more of an ensemble kind of piece makes it really, I'm really close to putting it back. Because I'm looking at my 5 now and realizing I don't have a Netflix show in there, and that looks weird for SAG.
Yes, I may make some changes here before Wednesday, actually.
Really good point.
TV comedy actor. I can't imagine anyone not named Jason Sudeikis winning this trophy. Yes, Steve Martin and Martin Short are absolutely amazing. And Steve Martin kills it in the finale of Only Murders, but that is a potential vote split situation there for those two guys.
Yeah.
The other nominees Gold Derby thinks will be Brett Goldstein. He just won an Emmy, and Nicholas Hoult for The Great. Denton, do you want to go first on this one?
I have the same top 4. I just have Michael Douglas replacing Nicholas Hoult. I know Nicholas Hoult was in there last year, but I don't know if The Great is as buzzworthy as it was last time around. So I'm just going with the veteran actors here. I know the SAG Awards love their vets, so I'm putting Michael Douglas in there in the 5th slot.
Daniel?
Yeah, same for me for the same reason. I have Michael Douglas over Nicholas Hoult. I feel like the veteran gets in here, and I can see The Great getting in for cast. So yeah, and you know, the 2 Only Murders guys, they're veteran stars. Even if I didn't think the show was getting into ensemble, I would think at least one of them here. And it's hard to picture like which one would possibly get in without the other, so I'm just predicting both. And Ted Lasso, just like Jason Sudeikis is getting in, and because they're probably going to love Ted Lasso, Brett Goldstein's going to get in after getting that Emmy. So and that won't be a vote split issue, because I'm pretty sure if you're going to vote for a Ted Lasso actor, you're probably going to vote for the guy who plays the title character.
Exactly. Don't count out William H. Macy. He won this multiple times, and that this is the final season of Shameless. And Larry David used to get in every year for Curb. He could come back. Anthony Anderson is a possibility. Okay, so TV comedy actress. We're almost done here. Jean Smart won the Emmy. I highly think she's winning this again, unless one of you convinces me it'll be Hannah Waddingham for Ted Lasso. She's in 2nd place at Gold Derby. And then Elle Fanning, Issa Rae, and Selena Gomez round out the 5. Let me look at my 5. I do have the same exact 5.
Difference.
What'd you say?
I have only 3 in common with this. I do have Jean Smart winning, and I think she's the star of the show. I think it's going to go to her. I have Hannah Waddingham in 2nd, and then I have Issa Rae in 3rd. And my 4th and 5th are Sandra Oh for The Chair and Hannah Einbinder for Hacks in the 5th slot. So,
okay,
we'll see. I don't know about Selena Gomez and her and how much
she's very popular. And
she's popular, but in a SAG way. I'm not sure if she's like. I'm not sure they're gonna go for her. At least not yet. Like if the Emmys go for her next year, then I could see, yeah, but maybe SAG will go for her in season 2. But yeah, I see them potentially being a little bit of a snob factor against her, being like the pop star, former child star in here.
Right.
But I have actually 3 of the top 5 also. Jean Smart and Hannah are, I think, the only locks. And then you've got, I've got Elle Fanning in there, but I've got her like in 4th place. I'm not entirely sure about her. And going by my logic, like, what are they watching? They're watching Hacks, so I have Hannah Einbinder also getting in there, and they're watching Ted Lasso, so I got Juno Temple also getting in.
Yeah, Juno could definitely do it. Tracy Ellis Ross for Blackish as well. Okay, so the other two categories are movie mini actor, movie mini actress. There is no limited ensemble, which really is still annoying after 25 years. I just put something in the Gold Derby forum saying if there was a category, what would be nominated? So go in there and have fun reading those comments. Movie mini actor Evan Peters is predicted to win, which is interesting because it's a supporting role. And then Oscar Isaac, Ewan McGregor, who won at the Emmys, just like Evan Peters did, and Michael Keaton and Murray Bartlett rounds out the top 5. I don't have Murray getting in. I don't know if he has big enough name recognition to get in at the SAG Awards. I have Clive Owen getting in instead for Impeachment. But Impeachment has not been doing well at some of these other award shows. I don't think it got anything at the Critics' Choice, which is totally blasphemous. It is one of the best shows of the year. Denton, do you have Evan Peters winning like Gold Derby does, or who do you
No,
have?
I mean, I have Ewan McGregor winning, and I don't know if that's gonna happen either. Evan Peters, I mean, it was a supporting role, so I don't see that necessarily happening. I mean, it could go to Michael Keaton. And that 5th slot, I didn't know where to go with that one either. I actually have Bobby Cannavale right now from 9 Perfect Strangers, just because to me he was the standout of that show, which was such an ensemble that, you know, if it was more well received, I feel like it would be showing up at the SAG Awards, if anywhere. So I might have to switch. I might have to switch that out at the last minute, but Bobby is in my 5th slot right now.
Michael Keaton could pull this win off. They owe him one for Birdman. What do you think, Daniel?
I've got Evan Peters winning sort of by default. It reminds me a little bit, you know, because Ewan McGregor won the Emmy for Halston also, but that really wasn't very well received, the limited series. And I'm not sure I'm not sure people remember it as fondly now as they do Evan Peters in Mayor of Easttown. I was thinking it was going to be Oscar Isaac for a while for Scenes of a Marriage, but like I just haven't seen the buzz for that materialize as much. So I think he still gets nominated, but doesn't necessarily win. So I have the top 4, including Michael Keaton and Dope Sick, instead of Murray Bartlett, who I'd love to see nominated, if only to make up for like years of never getting any awards attention. I've got actually Hamish Linklater for Midnight Mass. You know,
Ooh,
buzzy performance. It's a big, showy performance. He has acted in a million things over the last 20 years. The Netflix effect could help him there. So yeah, I'm not entirely confident, but like I don't think Clive Owen, because Impeachment has been not as well received. I'm not sure Courtney B. Vance gets in for Genius Aretha, even though like they love him as an actor. So yeah, I'm going on a slight limb. It's not like a 2 out there, but yeah, I'm going later.
I love that pick of Hamish Linklater. Okay, final category, TV movie mini actress. Kate Winslet just won the Emmy. She is number 1 at Gold Derby to win this. And then Jennifer Coolidge in 2nd. I love that. Margaret Qualley in 3rd, Jessica Chastain in 4th, and Julianne Nicholson in 5th. She won the Emmy as well. Daniel, what do you think of this category?
I've got the top 4, and I think Julianne Nicholson could certainly get that 5th spot. But I'm just wondering if Olivia Colman's going to be too much to resist for landscapers. So I have her in my 5. And I'm predicting Winslet to win. This feels like one of those situations where she'll probably end up just kind of sweeping the season.
Yeah.
It's just kind of probably going to be one of those performances. Although I could see Margaret Qualley surprising her somewhere, but I think probably more likely at Critics' Choice, maybe. Jennifer Coolidge maybe here too, but it's a supporting role. I feel like she's going to get her shot at the Emmys more so than here.
Then
I have Kate Winslet winning. It just seems like her year to sweep this one. And I have Jennifer Coolidge, Jessica Chastain, I'm keeping Cynthia Erivo for Genius Aretha. She's staying in my top 5, and then I rounded it out with Margaret Qualley for Maid. But
So you have both Arethas, right? You have Jennifer Hudson on the movie side too.
yeah, I'm going all in for Aretha Franklin.
In my 5, I have 4 of the same, but I have Andie MacDowell getting in. And it's partly because she got snubbed at Critics' Choice, and that really made me mad. So I put her in this to make up for that. And I know that Jennifer Coolidge is supposed to win the Emmy for supporting actress in a limited series, but Andie MacDowell really could give her a run for her money. I can't wait to see that race play out. So I have her. It's like a hope diction here at SAG. But look, Andie MacDowell's a veteran. She's beloved in this industry. It would not surprise me at all if she were to get in here. But I agree with you guys. It's going to be Kate Winslet that will win this trophy. Any final thoughts here before we wrap up?
Yeah, no, just, fingers crossed for only things that I like getting nominated. So just
Fingers crossed for not being lazy voters. I mean, it's fine nominating the same people over and over, but we want to make sure that these same people had good seasons.
yeah, I agree with that. And I'm being a little cynical with some of my predictions, thinking like, I'm predicting the people from the shows that I think they're bothering to watch. So I would, if they go farther and wider than I'm predicting, I'd be very happy. Like, pick 2 Succession actors instead of 3, or something like that, and just kind of spread the wealth a little bit more.
Well, thank you everyone for watching. You can go to Gold Derby and make your SAG Awards predictions and your Critics' Choice and your Oscars and the box office and the billboards and reality shows and everything. We will see you probably Wednesday morning. We may do another slugfest to talk about what did get nominated and what got snubbed.
And
Thank
we'll
you everyone.
pretend we got everything right.
Bye-bye.